Unlock Stoic secrets to accepting what you can't control. This ancient Stoic secret will change how you handle everything you can't control. I want you to picture this. You're standing in a hospital room. The air is heavy, the walls feel like they're closing in, and the steady beep of a heart monitor is echoing louder than thunder in your ears. Your phone is buzzing with missed calls. Your thoughts? Spiraling. And right in front of you, someone you love is lying there, unresponsive. That was me. My brother was in a coma after a freak accident. 1 second, we were laughing about a movie. The next, I was holding his limp body, screaming for help. The doctors said, "There's nothing you can do now. Just wait." Wait, that's it? That's the worst thing you can tell someone who needs to act. I wanted to scream. I wanted to fix it. I wanted to do something. But there was nothing I could do. Nothing. And that's when everything changed. Because in that moment, staring at the wires, the machines, and the person I loved most, I heard something, not from the outside, but from inside me, a single, calm voice, one word. Accept. It didn't mean give up. It didn't mean stop caring. It meant face the reality, the brutal, uncomfortable, and utterly unfair reality, and choose how I would respond. That voice, believe it or not, came from a 2,000-year-old philosopher named Epictetus, a slave who became one of the greatest Stoic teachers in history. He once said, "Some things are up to us, and some things are not." Simple, right? But that idea? It's a sword sharp enough to cut through pain, fear, and anxiety. And in this video, you and I are going on a wild, emotional, mind-shattering journey to unlock the Stoic secrets to accepting what you can't control. Because let's be honest, you've got something in your life right now that's eating at you. Maybe it's a breakup you didn't see coming, a job you lost unfairly, a dream that slipped through your fingers, and you're holding on to the illusion that if you just tried harder, maybe you could change it. But what if the key to peace isn't control? What if the real superpower is acceptance? Okay, hold on tight, because I'm about to show you what the Stoics knew, and why it could save your sanity, your relationships, and maybe even your life. Let's jump right into it. Imagine you're stuck in traffic. Again, you're late for something important. Your fingers are gripping the steering wheel like a vice. Your jaw is clenched, and every second feels like an hour. Been there? Here's what most of us do. We rage. We curse. We honk. We stew in the boiling pot of our own frustration. But what would a Stoic do? Epictetus would say, "You don't control the traffic. You control your reaction." So instead of wasting that moment on anger, what if you used it to breathe deeply, reflect, or listen to something uplifting? Suddenly, you're not a prisoner of circumstance. You're free. And this is just traffic. What about the bigger stuff? A friend betrays you, a partner leaves, a parent gets sick, or you do. Seneca, another Stoic legend, wrote this brutal truth: you suffer more in imagination than in reality. Pause. Think about that. How many nights have you lost sleep worrying about something you might lose? Something you can't change? Now here's where it gets real. I had a friend named Daniel. Brilliant, passionate, full of energy. One day, he calls me and says, "They found a tumor, stage 4. His first instinct? Panic, denial. But then, after days of storms, he found this weird sense of peace. He said to me, "I can't control the cancer, but I can control how I face it. I want to go out with dignity, with strength, with love." And he did. His last words to me were, "Tell people not to waste time hating reality. Live it, face it." That's Stoicism. That's power. And you might be thinking, this is heavy. This is dark. But it's not. It's freeing. Because when you finally let go of what you can't control, you make space to fully own what you can. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, wrote in his private journal, "Not for fame, not for likes. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Let me ask you something personal. What are you holding onto that's breaking you? A grudge? A loss? A mistake? What if you didn't have to fight that anymore? What if the fight itself is the weight? Now picture this. A soldier is captured and tortured. Years of pain, no hope of escape, but he doesn't break. Why? Because he tells himself every day, they can hurt my body, but they can't touch my will. That's not fiction. That's Admiral James Stockdale, a real-life modern Stoic, a man who survived hell because he practiced radical acceptance. And guess what? You and I can do that too. But here's the catch, it's not easy. It's war, not with the world, but with your own mind. So I want to challenge you right now. The next time something goes wrong, really wrong, don't ask, why me? Ask, what now? Don't say, this shouldn't have happened. Say, it did happen. Now how do I face it like a Stoic? Because every moment you spend resisting reality is a moment you've given away your peace. And when you give away your peace, you give away your power. So let's make a deal. For the rest of this video, we're going to stop being victims of chaos. We're going to step up, face the storm, and walk through it like warriors. Because on the other side of acceptance is freedom. And it's time to set yourself free. The storm hits harder, but so do you. How Stoicism builds unshakable inner strength. Let me take you into a story you've never heard before. It starts in a prison. Not just any prison, but a solitary cell buried beneath the earth. No windows, no sound, just you and your thoughts. This isn't a movie. This was real life for Viktor Frankl, a neurologist, a philosopher, a man who survived the Holocaust. He watched everyone he loved die, every possession stripped, every hope tested. But here's the miracle. Frankl walked out stronger, not just alive, awake. Why? Because he realized this unbreakable Stoic truth. Everything can be taken from a man except one thing, the last of human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. Now ask yourself, what would you do, trapped in that darkness? Cry, break, beg for it to stop? Or would you, like Frankl, look inward and reclaim your power? That's what Stoicism teaches. Even if the storm outside is raging, you can build a shelter inside. But you have to choose it. And that choice? That's where your true freedom lives. Let me bring it closer to home. Last year, I lost everything in a house fire. One spark, that's all it took. In minutes, my memories were smoke, my journals, my photos, my childhood. I stood there, barefoot on the street, watching flames devour years of my life. And I'll be honest, I wanted to collapse. But as I stood there, I remembered Marcus Aurelius, writing while his empire was crumbling. When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive. I looked down, I still had my feet, my breath, my life. And right then, I made a decision. I wouldn't mourn the ashes. I'd rebuild. Because the fire could take my house, but not my mind. Not my resolve. That's the kind of strength Stoicism builds. It's not the strength to crush your enemies. It's the strength to carry your cross without losing your soul. Now I want to ask you something personal. Have you ever looked at a problem in your life and thought, I can't handle this? What if I told you that you already have? That every time life knocked you down, you got up? And that right now, inside you, is a quiet strength you've barely begun to use? The Stoics had a word for it, eudaimonia. It doesn't mean happiness, it means living in alignment with your highest self. And the path to it? Starts with this, amor fati, love your fate. Wait, love your fate, even the terrible parts? Yeah. Because when you learn to embrace what happens, not just endure it, you become invincible. Let me explain. There was this guy the first met named Josh, paralyzed from the waist down after a bike accident. Young, athletic, dreams shattered. He said for months, He hated everything, his body, his life, even his friends. But then, one day, a nurse gave him a book, Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. And something clicked. He told me, I realized I was still alive, still breathing, still thinking. That meant I still had choices. Now Josh mentors others with spinal injuries. He says the accident didn't destroy him. It revealed him. That's Stoicism, not avoiding pain, but transforming it. Not saying, why me? But saying, try me. Because here's the truth no one tells you. The moment you stop needing to control everything, is the moment you become unstoppable. Control is an illusion. The market crashes, people leave, accidents happen, life will break your plans. But Stoicism gives you something better than a plan. It gives you a compass. A way to navigate any storm with grace, courage, and dignity. Let me throw this at you. Imagine you're standing at a crossroads. On the left, the path where you keep fighting reality, yelling at traffic, cursing the weather, blaming the world. It feels powerful, but it's a cage. On the right, the path of acceptance, not passive surrender, active ownership, owning your mind, your reactions, your choices. Which do you choose? Deep down, you already know the answer. But let me show you what happens when you walk the right path. We go to a battlefield, not with guns, but in the heart. This guy, Marcus, lost his wife suddenly, 2 kids to illness, and then, he was diagnosed with a degenerative disease. Life broke him, over and over. But every morning, he did the same thing. He opened a worn-out notebook and wrote 5 things he was grateful for. When I asked him why, he said, because I can't change what's gone, but I can change what I see. Marcus isn't a philosopher, he's a mailman, a father, a man who faced the unthinkable, and stayed kind. That's what Stoicism gives you, not just survival, but soul. So here's what I want you to do. Right now. Think of one thing you've been resisting. A breakup, a mistake, a loss. Say it out loud. This is not in my control. And now say, but this is how I respond. Do you feel that? That shift? That's you stepping into your power. And once you taste that, you can never go back. Because here's the ultimate Stoic paradox. When you accept what you can't control, you gain control over everything that matters. Not the weather, but your patience. Not people's actions, but your peace. Not the outcome, but your effort. And that's how the storm becomes your teacher. That's how pain becomes wisdom. And that's how you, yes, you, become unshakable. Let me leave you with one final image before we dive deeper. Imagine a flame. Wind comes, most flames flicker, die out. But the Stoic flame, it feeds on the wind. It grows stronger. Because everything that tries to destroy it only makes it burn brighter. That flame is inside you. And now it's time to let it burn. The final transformation, how Stoicism turns pain into power, and you into a warrior of peace. Okay, we've come a long way. You've stood in the fire. You've walked through the storm. You've faced the parts of life that feel brutally unfair. And you've learned to stop fighting reality. To stop clinging to what you can't control. Now it's time for the final transformation. I want to take you to a battlefield you've never seen before. Not in a war zone. Not in politics. Not even in public. This battlefield is hidden. It's inside you. And every single day, whether you know it or not, you're fighting a war between 2 voices. One says, this isn't fair. This isn't right. You shouldn't have to go through this. The other voice? The Stoic one? It says, yes, this is hard, but it's yours. Own it. That's the war we're ending today. Because what I'm about to show you isn't just philosophy. It's liberation, the kind that pulls you out of anxiety, depression, bitterness, and rage, and drops you into a place where peace is no longer just an idea. It's your default. But first, I need you to understand one thing. Stoicism is not about becoming emotionless. It's about mastering your emotions. Big difference. Let me give you an example that changed my life. A woman named Naomi, single mom, 2 kids, working 3 jobs. Her youngest gets sick, bills pile up, her landlord raises rent, she hits a wall, panic attack, ends up in the ER. And there, lying under harsh lights, hooked up to machines, she makes a decision. She says, I can't keep living like I'm one wrong moment away from shattering. I need to build something stronger inside me. She dives into Stoic philosophy, starts small, journals every morning, asks herself, what's in my control today? One day, it's just making breakfast calmly. Another day, it's letting go of the resentment she holds toward her ex. And slowly, brick by brick, she builds an internal fortress. I met her 6 months later. Same job, same bills, same chaos. But her energy? Unshakable. And she told me something I'll never forget. I used to think I had to control everything. Now I know I only need to control me. And that's enough. Can you imagine what that kind of peace would feel like? Not pretending you're fine, but actually being fine, even when life's a mess. That's the transformation Stoicism offers. But you have to take the leap. So here's what we're going to do now. Right here, right now. We're going to write a new internal code. One so powerful, so unbreakable, that nothing life throws at you can take it away. Ready? Take a breath. And repeat after me. I accept what I cannot change. I change what I can. I respond with reason, not rage. I live by values, not by moods. I focus on my actions, not their results. I embrace reality, not because it's easy, but because it's mine. You just spoke the Stoic creed. But we're not done. Because now, I'm going to hit you with the ultimate challenge. 1 week. For 1 week, starting now, I want you to practice radical acceptance in everything you do. When something breaks, don't curse, observe. When someone hurts you, don't react, reflect. When your plans fall apart, don't spiral, adjust. And every night, I want you to ask yourself just 3 questions. 1. What did I resist today that wasn't in my control? 2. What could I have accepted sooner? 3. How did I grow by choosing peace over panic? You do that for 7 days. And I promise you, you won't recognize yourself. You'll stop being the person who breaks when things go wrong, and start becoming the person who bends like bamboo. Then snaps back stronger. And now, the final story, the one that sealed it all for me. It was raining hard. I was walking in a cemetery, visiting the grave of a friend who died young. Car crash, no warning, just gone. I was angry, at the world, at fate, even at God. But then I saw this gravestone nearby. It didn't have a name, just 2 words. They accepted. I don't know who they were, or what that meant, but it hit me like a lightning bolt. Because that's it, isn't it? At the end of life, all we leave behind isn't our stuff, it's how we carried the storm. Did we rage, or did we rise? Did we collapse, or did we accept? Those 2 words, carved in stone, burned into my soul. And I want them to burn into yours too. Because here's the truth. You don't get to control what life throws at you. But you do get to control what you throw back. So throw back courage, throw back peace, throw back unshakable calm in the middle of chaos. That's what Stoicism is. Not a shield to hide behind, but a light to guide you through the dark. So here's my final question to you. When the next storm hits, and it will, what will you choose? Resistance? Or power? Fear? Or acceptance? Because now, you know the secret. The Stoic doesn't fight the storm. The Stoic becomes the eye of the storm. And that changes everything. Thank you for walking this journey with me. If this hit you in the heart, don't just scroll away. Reflect, rewatch, rebuild. And remember, the peace you're chasing? It's not out there. It's already inside you. All you have to do is accept it.